Having the flip. Ethereal, of course, so good with the dive, with the sanctification for the protection. So there's a good ban coming out from L5. But Black, they have no idea what's coming up for L5 right now.
I think Rhaegar is the safest ban because they took the Malfurion already. Rhaegar is going to allow them to steal camps, which L5 is known to do on this map. With the Rhaegar, you can get the faster Bruiser camp, you can steal the Siege camp, you can evade it, the neutral camp, fast clear time. These are reasons why Rhaegar is so strong here. You could consider the Greymane ban too. He serves similar roles because we could see L5 drafted to the Greymane Tassadar maybe. But it's going to be Tassadar who they ban instead. An interesting move here. They must know something I don't, because that one was not the one I was looking at, because it doesn't pair with anything that's available besides the Greymane. So you weaken the Greymane pick here instead of banning him outright.
I think they want to go all in aggressive when they dive in. They want to look for the kills. They don't want them to have the extra layer of protection when they focus onto the perfect target. So that's the Tassadar ban happening. Because a lot of the supports are already removed. Rhaegar seems very likely. Rhaegar, Tassadar, okay. Both very okay on this map. So I think they went for the Tassadar ban instead. But now L5, they have to show what they are made of. Maybe they will not even go towards Greymane because we don't know what, and to save it for the last spot because we don't know what kind of tanks that. Okay, instead it's Tychus, so less likely Greymane, and they still need the support.
I think they'll just try to react a little bit with the support. I still think it's going to be Rhaegar. Black, are they going to commit to the Abathur here? Tassadar, they banned it, so they don't have anything else to protect the Illidan. Uther's gone, obviously. Are we going to even see like a Zarya? Maybe, but unlikely. It feels like with the Tyrael being removed and Black banning the Tassadar, they've kind of drafted themselves into a little bit of a corner here for secondary support, for protection of the Illidan. Medivh is not a terrible choice. Very rare to see Medivh used with Illidan. And it's not that Illidan has to have a secondary support, but he's just half the man he would be if he doesn't have it.
You can also provide more dive and also the safety exit for all the diving ones. Greymane actually taking
with the stitches here. I feel like this is a weak draft. You have double range DPS with Illidan. You very dive heavy but no protection. Only Malfurion who has no burst heals and no protection. This is going to be about picks with the Stitches Malfurion, and it's going to be about Twilight Dreams. With a good Twilight Dream, the Dragon Blade, and Illidan diving in Greymane, then you win those fights. If the Twilight Dream isn't good, then you are really going to struggle. And Brightwing is making waves today.
Emerald Wind is going to be the way, the all-in dive with the burst damage Stitches. They're looking for picks, and Emerald Wind will save them. That's what L5 is looking for. Brightwing really making an appearance against the dive comps today.
Well, here we go, guys. This is going to be the heavy dive. The Twilight Dream is going to have to be real. Emerald Wind is going to make this a very difficult fight on the side of MVP Black. Remember, this is L5's map pick. They have the global into Haka. They have that split push. We'll see if they can make it work as we go into game number 1 between these two titans. L5, Hooligan on Anubrock, SC on Tychus, Jungha on Dahaka, STE on Li Ming, and Swoi on Brightwing.
전투 시작까지 10초 남았다.
And MVP Black. Reset on Genji, Sake on Greymane, Kyocha on Malfurion, Rich on Illidan, Tist on Stitches.
So, cocktail build coming out for Greymane, obviously with the solo support. That's going to be the way that they draft this, or rather play this out. Li Ming power hungry, actually. Surprising over the force armor when you have this heavy of a dive. Protection is always nice. Just wants to have more spell damage here. Not a whole lot of defense against that. Not even dampen magic being taken here on Stitches, going full slam. This is I don't want to call it a Wombo team fighting comp for MVP Black, but the Twilight Dreams are really going to have to be good, or I can't imagine them having the sustainability to win a longer fight. Ooh, the baits here. Jungha with the very brief burrow just forced the phase shift in.
I think they're looking for the strong early game ganks, look for the kill, and having the early lead from the beginning. There's a trust from Gyocha already. They're looking for those early peaks to snowball from the beginning and really keeping that snowball into the late game so that they can win. L5, they will have to fight for a long time. They have to sustain with Emerald Win. I think is a very likely option coming out from Swoi, and Brightwing is actually his favorite hero from last year too.
Yeah,
working that in favor.
That's true. That's something we didn't really mention, but all throughout 2016, he said Brightwing was his go-to.
When it's like Jaehyun's Malfurion, when no one else actually picked Malfurion, Jaehyun was picking Malfurion, and even Brightwing for Swoi, he was basically the only one.
Brightwing and ETC kind of helped define the split push and solo laner, solo soaker meta, where we had the stage dive was meta, you know, and Swoi was one of the first players to actually make this happen. By the end of 2016, especially the World Championship, it started to see a little bit less play. People started to figure out, okay, this wasn't as strong as we had originally thought. But Jungha's going to loop around here to look for the potential tongue grab onto Rich. Will grab it, easy peasy here. There's the poly, and just going to be a trade advantage for L5.
Yeah, that's right. But for the time being, they will get the controls, and Leeming and Anubrak is coming in the mid lane. So because Stitches will be looking for the channel.
This is a very passive early game, as no teams are really making mistakes of any kind. As we see the committed hook and root here, Gyocha tosses the root out. Unfortunately, doesn't hit the mark, as he's able to use this time to sneak in and grab this temple, or not temple, shrine. Knows that it's pretty risky with Greymane missing on the map, walks away. But they will try to take the top. This is going to be potentially a brief moment where Black controls both, as Rich goes for the solo camp here. As L5 was taking these siege giants, it was a window of time where he could get away with that, while they also were taking both temples. So as you can see, Genji's channeling it right now. Reset's going to have it in just a second. Oh, just barely denied by Jungha. So they're going to use these siege giants to pressure hard this bot lane.
They have to go towards the macro wave. If they get dove and ganked and get killed, that will be the disastrous situation for Black. So they will be looking for those kills, and even Haka has to be careful on the top lane.
Yeah, he's been having some phenomenal grabs, though. The tongue grabs here have really turned around this matchup for him. He's struggling now, and Swoi comes up to assist because of the bruiser camp that was sold by Rich just a moment ago, but now they have the freedom to force them back, grab this shrine, and in fact the bottom shrine will be taken too. This is going to be a brief channel on the side of L5 with 4 mid here for Black, though. Unleashing the Dragon Knight is going to be a different challenge altogether until the collapse comes in. Brightwing just used her phase shift, so I don't think has it available. Should have it soon.
But even Peekaboo, that's a little questionable talent choice at 4. I guess when they are in the middle, not in the lane, they want to reveal all the areas, so making sure they know where Stitches is, so they can defend against the hooks incoming from the blind spot.
That's exactly why this is chosen. So this is going to just be safe play. And Swoi himself will be dove here with the wall down, and this cannon towers are out of ammunition, because it's basically been Rich eating it every time with the tongue grabs. Well, this matchup in the top lane, which really became a 2v2 for quite some time, was obviously won by MVP Black. SC is just going to sit here and do damage to Tist, who is willing to eat it. It's going to cost him his life. There's a teleport gank coming in. That's off cooldown now. That makes it the double with the polymorph coming in. No respect here by Tist. Perhaps he was trying to bait something in, but Rich was definitely not there. Had the fight gone longer, Rich would have gotten more value off of this split push. It's still going to be decent for him. He does finish off the wall, but not respecting that Tychus DPS and the fact that the rotation was going to come in. The stuns, the poly. Sake just barely gets out here too.
Ooh, without that root, I think SCSC could have done the last bit of damage. They are storming this with those first few kills. And L5 taking the lead with those kills now. It seems like, no, not in time. They are coming for the drag. Hook misses. Look for SDE for the kill. Anubarak for the defense. And here comes Brightwing also.
So teleport in, reset. Dives away there using his cyber agility. So yet again, the channel, but not the unleash for L5. So they just too many members of Black in the mid lane, as this game is dead even. Structure lead for Black because of the top lane push, but with the kills and some of the extra soaking that happened in mid, L5 keeps the EXP pretty much dead even. In fact, they've got about like an 8% lead right now. Okay, here's the commitment up here though. Jungha may have to consume Essence here to survive. Gets the tongue grab yet again. That is going to be the slow on to reset, but the deflection is going to help nearly finish off Swoy. The autos are going to get it. STE does not have enough to get the kill. He uses isolation here as they get 10 to make this a 1-for-1. Will they get more? The Cocoon comes down as well.
Comes down and target seems to be on Kyocha. Twilight Dream for the defense, but Twilight it's very low. It's actually a 1-for-1 kill. Sake doing tons of damage, but here comes Liming from the other side.
Getting messy here. Hooligan is going to be the next target to fall. Sake with just too much DPS. Yeah, that was dirty. 2 for 2 when the dust settles. The top lane, again, controlled by Rich. Jungha will take the bot using Brush Stock here to stop the channel of the Dragon Knight. And that was really an aggressive dive coming in. Jungha has been on fire with the tongue grabs, though. And it makes you question some of the moves we've been seeing from Rich. The deflection that we saw coming in, though, from Reset was really what secured the kill.
Nice burrow there, too. Laser Dragon Drill from Tychus. When they dive in, they want to do as much as damage possible. I think that's the way that Tychus wants to go. Isolation well used, and Jungha is just playing with fire today on the Haka.
Yeah.
And here's the hunt onto Tychus. There's the drill for the defense. Actually,
Cleanse too, and here's the amazing Cocoon coming in. Rich is out of the fight for that entire time. Now finds himself polymorphed here. That's part of the reason why the Brightwing pick happened, but still, it brought enough space here for MVP Black to go ahead and grab this Dragon Knight. Will it be worth it in the end, though, if they lose too many members? Kyocha does not have Ice Block. Does escape here. The kick comes in, and that puts the wrong side of the map here for Anubrock. Can't help to peel here for L5. That's the double here as Swoy goes down first. There's a triple. Rich over the wall.
I almost thought the Haka would come out of my screen here. That was crazy, and Dragon Knight making it work. Look at Rich just playing. She's flying over the map with the hunt, using every single time when it's available right now. That's Rich on Illidan.
Feels like everything is right in the world when Rich is back on MVP Black and he is throwing people in the dumpster. So a fiery game, 11 kills already here at 8:30 into the map. Dragon Knight has 12 seconds left to find some last-minute damage onto this bot fort wall. Almost got one cannon tower, but Sake is not willing to put himself in a risky spot here on the gray main with no escapes. So hyper-aggressive plays here for L5, using the Cocoon early in the fight to look for picks, but doesn't feel like they can actually quite seal the deal quickly enough. Then the fight turns around against them. The extra sustained heals coming out from Kyocha, who now has Ice Block. Gonna make it a lot easier for him to survive when the dive comes in, or not the dive, but the cut comes in. They slice MVP Black in half when MVP Black is diving tough on the towers. We've seen Rich already so heavily invested in doing damage to the top fort, the mid fort.
Now that I think of it, the gray main pick is very smart in a way, because even if you lose Genji or Illidan from the dive, you still have so much damage available for your team that can turn the team fight around. So L5 is going to start the team fight already.
Big silence! Oh, it was going to be so good here. That would have won the fight for them. These are the Twilight Dreams that they need to win the fight. But Reset gets resets. He's getting the double.
God.
Still, even without the silence, now he still has it. He might use it here. He gets dragged. He might use it right after he comes out. The Ice Block is here. There's the Twilight Dream.
Says thank
and
you
another reset here for resets. Another reset for Reset. This keeps happening. He plays heroes that only have resets like Li Ming and
That was the best Genji I've ever seen. That was crazy coming out from Reset, and this entire time, that was 4v5 and Rich just staying on top like that. MVP Black is back, guys.
They are back.
They are the bad boys in the house.
Bad
L5 seems like they're having a super tough time right now.
Bad to the bone. The Twilight Dream canceled there. Still the maximum value out of the Dragon Blade. The cocktail damage. There's just so much DPS here. And when you only have Brightwing as your healer, sure, she does a lot of amount of AoE healing that built into it. But Actually, they did not build into it. I thought they took it at level 1. I looked back at it. Nope, went into the teleport instead. But anyways, the point is, the bottom line is, the healing is not enough for the burst damage that's coming out from the triple DPS here of MVP Black. And this is going to be another Unleashed Dragonite. Rich is here. No one to deny this. And it's a big win here. You have the Twilight Dream. You have the Bile as well to slow targets down, get that extra damage done. And this is just a dominant performance here from Black.
Yeah, Hooligan diving in does not help L5 because it makes his entire back line so far away from Anubarak actually, has to come for defense even.
Well, he just get Curse Bulleted as well, and then it will have such a low health pool when MVP Black turns on him. It gets disastrous. The Twilight Dream, had that gone off, it would have been an even more one-sided fight. The second one was good. Probably a mistake to tongue grab the Kyocha there, who has the Ice Block available. Here's another tongue grab, speaking of which, but it's just going to delay the inevitable. This is going to be the first keep of the game, going over to MVP Black.
Look at the positioning of Rich, not Rich and Reset. They're looking for the kill, and look at the damage that SDE barely survived. I don't even know how, but he did at the end.
Yeah, without any dominance resets there. I'm not 100% sure either how he got out of that one, but we just see another tongue grab here onto Sake, the isolation as well. Soy survives here just barely.
That damage was real. That was crazy.
Yeah, they were going to get out of here alive, not able to get the second keep. Very aggressive play from MVP Black, but the defense was really well played by L5. And this is the level of play that I've been waiting to see in this tournament. This is what we've always come to expect from the top-tier Korean teams.
Well, I'm just lost in words. When Illidan goes in, takes all the damage, get the aggro, that's the time Greymane goes in, does some damage, and when he's about to lose, just E out, and then Genji dives in for the kill, possibly looking for the kill, and if he cannot, just use all the deflect and just Swift Strike out. It's perfect! And it's very easy to say it, but they're making it come true on your screen. Yeah, you just witness it.
It's harder executed than said, for sure. Easier said than done, as they say. So he's making it happen. We've been impressed by Reset's Genji all season long, and this is no exception. Getting the kill here with the hunt onto Tychus. That's the double onto Anubarak. Looks like L5 has just fallen apart here. The early game they played decent. MVP Black always had their number in the top lane, though. It's hard to argue against the Rich Illidan pick coming out for MVP Black. Another pick here, this time onto Jungha, and it looks like MVP Black is going to end this game there on the core. No way out for L5, and MVP Black is going to be the first to take a point on the scoreboard in this best of 5.
They look scary today. They have really run everything perfectly against L5 as they actually dropped the map against Blossom, which was quite unexpected. They want to bring this 3-0 out of all, and L5 looks quite puzzled after game number 1.
In Black's series against Blossom, they did not play any Illidan outside of game number 1. It was on Dragonshire that they played the hero yet again. That was where they took the first point onto the scoreboard in that series. But it was L5 actually who had Tempest targeting ban Illidan against them. But against Miracle, already teams had learned, I need to be target banning Illidan. We saw Mighty doing it.
That's right.
This is something that I think may evolve into this series. L5 may just remove the Illidan. But it's scary when you don't have... Most people don't consider Illidan to be an S-tier hero. He's almost there right now. He's not a permaban hero. He needs a lot of different tools to work with. S-tier heroes are heroes like Anubarak or Uther, with no matter what you build into your comp, he's going to be good. Genji as well. And when you have to put Illidan into the first ban, that unlocks other opportunities for Black to have those other top-tier heroes. They can get the Anubarak more often. They can get the Uther more often if you have to ban the Illidan. So it's sad and frustrating when you do have to start considering that Illidan ban, but it's just a win for Black in every way.
And also, with that win, I think they will go into the second pick, and very likely, and they can grab 2 this time, not just Illidan. And from the support, they've been removing support so often, but this time I think there will be a change. As you mentioned, if they ban Illidan, they can leave all the supports open, grab that Uther, grab Ariel. Maybe we'll see the Cho'Gath once more coming out from MVP Black. From what I remember, one of the StarCraft maps is still open. And I think it's Praxis too. So
that's right, it is Praxis. Warhead was the one that was banned.
Ooh, I want to see that fire coming in. L5 seemed very uncoordinated, as maybe Emerald Wind could have been the better option when there was so much dive coming in, and we were expecting Emerald Wind coming out from Swoi too. But at the end, it was heal instead for his own escapes. No ice blocks either. with the heal coming in. But let's just put that aside as we're going into game number 2. It is going to be Battlefield of Eternity, and MVP Black wants to snowball this series.
That they do. Battlefield of Eternity, historically always one of MVP Black's best maps. It's scary to think that if they take this series 3-0, they might jump into Cursed Hollow right after this, which would be just as scary, I think. This map, not as Malthael focused as we thought it would be, not being first picked here, but he is very important. He has been picked 100% on this map, 100% involvement on this map since his release this week. So I expect that that's going to be a big defining factor here as MVP Black has chosen the map. To take a look back at their older drafts, they did first, in their first rotation, build it on BOE against Blossom. It was also their map pick for game number 2 there. L5, on the other hand, did the same. In their second pick rotation, they took Malthael first. So both of these teams picking the Malthael when given the first opportunity to do so without banning it. And you have to imagine if L5 leaves it open, Black will do the same yet again if they don't take it in that first rotation. And here comes the Illidan ban already.
Here we go. It's not decided, but it seems very, very likely after getting punished in game number 1. There we go. Opening up Malthael, though. Not just Malthael, a lot of the picks. Genji. 2 dives are banned, so less likely it's going to be less of a divey comp.
So, no one is first picking Malthael on this map. He has not been first picked on this map by any team, but he has been second picked.
Yeah.
So, Black picked it second against Blossom. L5 picked it second against Tempest. And you have to imagine Black will continue this trend. With Anub'arak available, Anub'arak, Malthael seems to be a very solid set of options. Trying to think of alternatives because this has been so... It has been the rule. It's like more true than gravity is that you take Malthael in this rotation in Korea. And I wonder what other considerations come in. Remember, Black has prioritized Li Ming for reset on this map many, many times. So maybe they're thinking Malthael, Li Ming, then you control all aspects. You give up the Anub'arak when you do that, but they're going to give up the Anub'arak in a different way and go down the Vala path. This is not what L5 is expecting.
This is weird. They're forcing an Ariel ban too, because they went for Vala to Astar. Maybe this is just Vala for the bait, and they may actually go for something else and have Vala just not going for the Q build or even going for just to use her as a team fighting tool instead. Not all in Vala come, and I think they're trying to bait L5 into it.
Yeah, it could be a gray main pick coming out without as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be solo DPS Vala, or the solo range DPS Vala, of course. L5 left available both the Anub'arak and the Malthael. Not a lot of synergy, though, when you think about the 3 heroes you're bringing into your draft. Malthael, Uther, and Anub'arak starts to feel like you're a bit lopsided, and you're giving away all forms of solid DPS to the side of MVP Black. Malthael will be good in the Immortal race, but not against anything else. They will take him with the Ariel, so it's going to be double support on the side of L5, specifically to deny that Trinity for MVP Black. This is a weird choice, and the only time we've seen this double support Uther Ariel, this has happened before, was with the exact pick that you see banned by MVP Black. MVP Black, such a great drafting team, done their research. They've seen the Uther Ariel with the Cassia as the main DPS with Malthael. We've seen this specifically, this one niche hero, and Black insta-locks it. They're already prepared.
Yeah, they're prepared. It seemed like L5 took the bait in hard. I can't wait to see the later 3 picks of MVP Black. They are prepared for today's match for sure. L5, a decent ban will be against Malthael, some of the poking the ranged ones, because Malthael's still a melee with the support. With the double support, we'll have a lot of sustain, but once you get CC with burst damage with Vala and maybe some stitches coming out also with the pair of CCs, and burst damage coming out from Greymane.
I like the Malfurion ban here, and I like a Greymane ban. The Malfurion ban is just okay, we're gonna choke the support. The Twilight Dreams that we saw from Kyocha were teamfight defining in the last game on Dragonshire. So it also is a soft ban on the stitches you describe. So that's another thing, because there's not really much other forms of CC chain for stitches to make sure you have the follow-up DPS.
Just to code for the silence. Not yet! will
Not yet.
be in the
I'm
later
hoping.
phase.
I've got fingers crossed when he will be playable a week after release. That's my what's the RNG thing? That's my bless RNG. G-Guff and I just talk in Twitch emotes when we're off camera, so that's why I bring them
They're
up.
not lying for sure. So and they have to show what they are made of. Of course, the percent damage will be very high coming out from Marthail and double sustain. Maybe bringing the Chromie would be possible, but they would lack in sustain somewhat.
Just going to bring the Tyrael in for extra protection for Vala. Lucio is going to be the main support here. With not a lot of CCs on the side of L5, the lack of cleanse is not going to be a problem. It's going to be for the longer sustained fight here. And for L5 now, I feel like, again, kind of scratching heads, trying to figure out what's the best way to go around this. Li Ming is still available for controlling poke when you have the lead, because Malthael will always have the lead.
And also, I think Black is considering taking Li Ming at the very end. That's a very good... It's a safe team comp against what L5 has right now. So I think taking away Li Ming is a solid option also with the double support. But they will be lacking in the front line. The front warrior line with less tankiness will be the problem. Maybe they're also thinking about Greymane.
I think you can take Greymane here, and this is kind of a weird thing to say, but I think D.Va is not out of the question for L5 either. You mitigate a lot of the damage coming out from Vala, kind of shut her down. You have really strong heroes to push down the Immortal. It's going to be Lunara Stitches. So they do have the follow-up detainment strikes around the Immortals, and they have Uther's Hammer of Justice. And it's just going to be the top-tier Stitches pick here. Not the crazy D.Va coming out that we've seen on this map a few times, specifically used by Mighty.
Even with Stitches, not much of a burst damage, so to say, for L5 side. Oh, and we were forgetting about MVP Black's Tracer. So much DPS. Harassment onto Marthael will be real in this game.
Yeah, Malthael needs to have protection. When Tracer has the Pulse Bomb available and he thinks he's going to solo that Immortal, or maybe Lunara comes over to help, that's when Tracer's going to look for the Punish Blade. Tracer, so good against both Lunara and the Malthael. I think Black crushed this draft. L5 wanted Cassia. They thought perhaps Black wouldn't understand the niche pick that we see so rarely, but Black insta-banned it because they know how well this works with the Auriel support here with Uther, almost an unkillable Cassia, but it was removed. As we go into game number 2, we'll see if L5 can tie things up. In blue, Team L5. Hooligan on Stitches, SC on Lunara, Junga on Malthael, Auriel being played by SDE, and Swoys on the Uther.
Red MVP Black. Reset on Vala, Sake on Tassadar, Kyocha on Lucio, Rich on Tracer, Tist on Tyrael.
So, this will be the first time that MVP Black has Kyocha main support instead of playing the Tracer. Kyocha was known for being the secondary DPS who played Tracer.
That's right.
The flex. But now it's going into a more appropriate role. The high skill cap that Rich has with the hero is going to make more sense here. Even though Tracer was a fearsome hero for Kyocha in the past, I think this is the better option here for Black. And Rich has definitely been improving on the heroes. She's rising up quite highly in popularity in Korea right now. So I like this quite a bit, that they would be able to sacrifice Kyocha's like, oh, I really want to play that hero. But it doesn't make sense to have Rich on the Lucio. He has to be the Tracer player here. So we're going to see these trades at level 1 coming out. No shock, no surprise here. Junga, though, dying is a bit of a shock. Perhaps overextending there. And this is kind of a lane swap-esque move for Black because they want to just go and 4-man the Malthael because he's so powerful. You basically don't lose lane with Malthael, so they just said, well, we'll flip the lanes, and you'll be 1v4, so they'll have to switch it around, and by that time, Black's already got an advantage.
That's exactly what they did, and L5 made the right choice of lane swapping after losing 1 kill. They don't want to give any more kills. So there's a lane swap with the top and the bottom. Of course, more EXP lead with the structures for MVP Plague and also the kill. There's a new Summer Tracer. with the mount, the perfect one for the summer.
Mount synergy, skin mount synergy, so important.
It makes your hero so much stronger.
Undervalued in Hero League for sure. Usually highly valued by the teams here. I'll never forget TNL all with the Cloud9 mounts. But Black gets a half-level lead from their lane swap with a 4-man against Malthael. And we're going to go into this Immortal fight. We'll see if the Malthael can get value here, as Rich is already very low on health. They're just going to dive in and invade this super hard. Already getting a lead, but as you can see, Malthael is finding a lot of damage. Where's the Pulse Bomb? Where's the gank attempt? That's the big question. It's only Tastar down there who's harassing him to get more level 1 stacks.
It's a little harder with Tastar down there, but does harass Malthael out of the way. It seems like Malthael is backed up for the moment.
Going to see the commitment here for L5 to attack the lane, which buys MVP Black a few thousand hit points on this race.
Race isn't too bad for Black because they have the Q-Vala going all the way in.
Yeah. They also have a lot of poke with Rich here, who's instead of ganking Malthael, is just leaving Tastar to get free stacks while harassing him there. So kind of a funny way this works as Sake goes down there, harasses, gets the free stacks, and will just basically allow MVP Black to poke at this Immortal, chip it down, and they're winning the race pretty hard. And I don't know if L5 is going to be able to catch up here. They're going to try to invade to stop this. Asake just completely avoids this. Tons of extra damage coming down here, though, from Lunara in this choke point, really showing the pick to get value. When you're on the attack at this specific phase, Lunara is so powerful in this tiny choke point, as you guys can see.
And they do have the sustain. Looks like Tis wants to sacrifice himself for more later damage with the trait.
Not enough, though. STE gets one more heal off. And they are still going to win this, it looks like, but it's not the massive win they wanted. Still worth the sacrifice there. The MVP teams have always prioritized the objective on this map over kills and over experience points, so that's the reason why he just dove in there. He could have, if he thought he wasn't going to get the kill, actually, onto Swoy, actually just blown up on the Immortal, which would have still been decent. So a nice choice overall by MVP Black. They win this just slightly, but it's going to give them an extra lead in EXP as this works on the wall.
Yep, and L5 actually lost the first one because there is lots of potentials, and all the range damage is what's limiting. Malthael can actually join in the teamfight and do more damage, but because there is so much range damage from MVP Black, he cannot even get near them and do so much damage. So Jongha made the right choice to be on the other side safely and do tons of damage to get the shields out onto the first Immortal. Okay, they will be going for a little more pressure, actually. Lag is not leaving the bot lane. Since Rich came into the team, they've been so much more aggressive compared to before. They are still focusing on the macro at the same time, but their power and the speed, the tempo that the team has risen up by, I'd say, about 25%.
I would have to say that, you know, when you look at who's on the team now, it feels like the old MVP Black more than the one that we saw at
Rich
mid-season
is
brawl.
caught, but Rico barely saved him there.
And all the slows coming out here. He will escape regardless. Doing a lot of extra damage, but the aggression in the bot lane here, not finding anything with it. L5 dealing with it very well, and because they committed so many resources to that aggression, L5 wins the fight and will win this siege camp as kind of a bonus prize for their defensive efforts here. Malthael versus Tastar in the top lane now is going to be the matchup. Not a shocking one, as Tastar can kind of out-shield a lot of that damage, doesn't have a large health pool but can escape, and he has good wave clear. So it's obviously Malthael will still win, but not too bad for the Tastar.
Of course, Tastar has a pretty good wave clear, so can also clear wave pretty quick. Actually going for this camp a little bit.
It's a perfect timing of the camp for the Immortals, so they got it first. L5 realized this and go take theirs, so no EXP lost on the side of Black, and it's actually a 5-man camp for L5, perhaps worried that MVP Black would invade, so more timid, so Black gets the faster camp to get the lead on that, and they got extra EXP because they only sent 3 to clear camp, leaving 2 in the top, 1 in the top, 1 in the bottom. So very well played by Black now, and pushing their way towards level 10. Going to even clear this way before they even touch the Immortal. It's going to be defensive, blue side defense here for L5. So tougher for MVP Black to do what they did on the last Immortal phase and get that massive lead.
Yeah, Rich has been doing some damage.
Very
scratches onto the Immortal because they also want to take this fort down and maybe go make this into a very, very long fight so they can hit 10 before L5.
Tastar just smashing up there in the top lane now that they won the he won the Merc battle, so just Malthael having to try to struggle to deal with him and the Mercs while Tastar just auto attacks. They're looking for a gank in the top lane too even. Malthael has to leave, and this is going to guarantee the fort. Very well played by Rich to come over here, realize this. So they gain extra EXP while L5 is unable to find anything in the bot lane comparatively. They could even be collapsed upon here. Look at Jungha on the minimap. He's just kind of awkwardly back in the main base, had to tap. He's just completely out of the map. Might as well be dead for what influence he has in the game right now. Finally coming back after the tap. Only getting mana from that tap even.
Ooh, the hooks from Hooligan today so far in game number 2 has not been so good. Only hooking minions a few times.
Yeah, tough against the mobility when you have the Lucio speed boost, plus you have Tracer there. Bala with the dodges. Jungha is going to be the first to fall here. Sanctification now available for Black after this, and this is going to be them going in deep. Rich is going to dive in onto SDE. He will get away just barely. The parting gift not enough. But they get the kill, of course, at the end onto Swoy. The triple, the level 10. They're going to get the massive lead in shields on the Immortal. And G-Clef, this looks like a more dominant game already than even our first one.
We can already tell that this team knows how to snowball. They know how to snowball. When they have a smallest lead into the game, they will use that against you. Look at that. They had the EXP lead. They were looking for the fort. They knew they had the lead the moment they hit 10. The moment they hit 10, they chose the heroics and went all in. That's MVP Black.
Quick reaction, man. Everyone's got their Twitch fingers to control click, you know, 1 or 2 for the heroics they want. Tap them in and smash that fight. A nearly full shielded, about 80% Immortal here is going to have a massive amount of ranged attacks. This fort is not long for this world, especially when you consider the poking power of Q-Vala and Tracer's ability to harass anyone who tries to punish their aggressive positioning. Look already at the position we see here from Tist. Hook is on, not a good target here. Tist is coming around the backside, looking for the Aldruins in, looking for that extra damage, with the smite coming down, giving everyone the boost. Perfect positioning here. We do see Divine Storm, not what Tracer expected here. Rich will fall, but the fight is not over, as Swoy is going to be the next to go down.
And Kyocha did get gorged, but the speed boost is real, and seems like he will go down at the end of the day, and Reset is looking for his life too, and Jungha is just soul ripping out of them.
Sake looks at potentially Hearth here, actually gets the shield over the wall to save his teammate. Decides not to Hearth and will escape, but all I can say is, damn. That was a surprising pick on the, well, not really a surprising pick, but perhaps caught Rich off guard with the Divine Storm. That was the pick there, but still, during all the action, the Immortal went all the way down to the keep wall. And Jungha just came into the fight late, wanted to get some extra soak top, and because he was there late, didn't have the impact that they needed. And even though they won the fight, quote-unquote, MVP Black continues to win the war.
I think with the heroics now, because MVP Black snowballed so hard from the beginning, they're still keeping up. They're still keeping up the momentum. They have a full level, even more ahead. That's why they're even considering this invade now down here, because they spotted Malthael on top. With the speed boost, SD seems to be the target right now.
Okay, we're going in deep. The strafe is used here by Reset. Hooligan comes in very far. It actually works out really well for them because they have the Aegis, but the sound barrier is so well timed with the Sanctification too. Perhaps a little bit of an overlap there, but still, it's enough to turn the fight around. They win, or rather get 2 kills. They win the fight. They get the 2 picks there. I was gonna say they win 2. I guess you could say that if you want to use some weird form of English that I say when I get hyped sometimes. And they have the push in the top lane.
Wow.
Dominance.
The coordination was right there was real. L5 almost had a chance to come back, but the moment the sound barrier came out, they were saying, oh no, we gotta get out of here. And you can't really escape from all the Tracer Blinks and Vala coming at you. With the speed boost of Lucio too. That's exactly what MVP Black was looking for, and they've got it. Very great defensive tools used though at the right timing for L5. That was not the worst case scenario for them.
They definitely could have, it could have been worse. They could have lost the keep from losing the fight harder. So Black just takes the advantage in the Merc timing because they stole the cap, forces L5 to defend. Now their cap is going to go up into the top lane while the Immortal phase is going on, so it's going to force L5 to either react or end up losing more of their keep wall, and eventually that's going to start working on the keep itself. see where the Immortals spawn here as they come up in 2 seconds. Will be the better spawn for MVP Black. They get the freedom to poke this. They won't win the race against Malthael, but they will be able to get the free damage first, and then when this swaps around, that's going to be where it's better.
MVP wins, actually, because it takes time to get the percentage, and Bala comes in with full Qs.
And also the fact that the Immortals swap there kind of messes up Malthael's damage over time, so that gives them a nice lead. This is really nice for MVP Black. So now they get the big force wall here. We do see Sanctification and Sound Barrier again stacked on top of each other. Not the best usage this time. Will they be able to win out the fight in the long run? Looks like maybe yes, with Malthael using his heroic immediately in the fight there. The Sanctification and Sound Barrier being stacked on top of each other this time is terrible for MVP Black. The Divine Storm will help secure the second kill here onto Lucio as Kyocha falls. MVP Black is going to have to be a little bit more coordinated.
That's right.
When they drop the Sanctification and the Sound Barrier at the same time, both of them are only half as effective.
Onto that's going to be another kill too. L5 will take this Immortal for sure. That Crystal Aegis also ignored the palm coming out from Rich. Stitches was able to live because of that, I think. And with the hook at the end, this Hooligan is coming back into the game along with the team coordination. Both teams are doing so great right now.
Well, we're just going to see this cleared up here. MVP Black will get it down to 4k health. This Merc Camp that we talked about gets the keep wall, but doesn't actually do that much to the keep. L5 will be able to clear this up, reacting very quickly. SD's got decent wave clear here. SC comes back. Gets half the keep, that's significant, but because Black lost the fight, I think this is very much a win for L5 because this Immortal should do even more. It's going to knock down this fort very quickly. Small shield, remember, because of what Black was able to achieve there, despite losing the team fight. But we're scaling up 13 minutes and a half here. This is definitely going to do a full fort worth of damage. We'll see how much of the keep he can get.
Yeah, sustaining-wise, L5 still has the favor of going in when we talk about sustains, but this is exactly why MVP Black is positioning actually very aggressive to take down this Immortal, placing the wall, doing tons of damage to SCE.
Now they actually just aren't able to find anything here, L5. Divine Storm is used here now, bringing out the Ripped Souls as well. Tormented Soul is going to do a lot of extra damage. Really nice Aegis here. The Sanctification, though, this time they used it right, and that is going to help win this fight for MVP Black. That is going to maybe be the full team wipe here. Jungha is caught now with the force wall. Swoi trying to do what he can. The supports are the last to die here, but it's the 5-man wipe. Look at the bot keep as well. The wave was so pushed, I'm pretty sure that keep is out of ammo. Both keeps at half health, so MVP Black could take their pick as to which one they want to destroy here. Death timer is still fairly low for L5, so this is not going to be game, but perhaps they get both keeps because of that bottom pressure that was pushing all game long.
Yep, this keep is already, seems like it's about to go down already. And that teamwork fight, they did get Lucio for the sustain, but after the Sound Barrier, Lucio does not do too much other than some CCs. They have had enough of damage, and also shield from Tyrael is not something that you can ignore too, because it does give shields to multiple targets on your team. L5 has to be careful. Their positioning has been a little bit off, really not got caught off guard from the wall oftentimes.
So L5, they made the reverse sweep happen against Tempest. They might be having to look at something similar to that here in this best of 5. They can't make something happen in this game now. They chose the swift defense of the bot keep. Lunara came in aggressively. SC wanted to punish the aggressive positioning there, coming out from Reset. Reset got away, but they saved the keep. It looked like it might have been the double for Black, but it's only half of what they wanted to accomplish. Still, massively ahead. They have that extra catapult pressure. They have the siege pressure now in the bot lane that's going to look to threaten that very keep that they worked so hard to defend. So Black's going to get the edge in this Immortal fight when they spawn in 20. This buys time for Black to get the safe Merc Camp take here on the Bruisers. They're going to come over, take the Bruisers while L5 clears. They have full vision right now, and even Tastar is going to prep the top wave for a more extensive push coming out from the catapults. They have all the advantages in the world. L5 needs to win a massive, decisive team fight for a window back into this game.
It's a late game. Lara does tons of damage along with the soul, along with the rips now. They will also going in for the race, and MVP Black now going in defensive mode. Jungha pops that Tormented Soul.
A lot of damage coming in, even onto the Immortal as well, but it's not enough to get picks. Sound Barrier and Sanctification still available. They've been the game-winning heroics every single time for MVP Black. Here we go. Dive in for SC, but Tis has the Sanctification. Sound Barrier stacked a little bit here. Reset gets the smite damage off, but they're unable to get the kill onto Jungha, who survives here.
Gorge actually used the hooligan.
Oh, the Aegis is so good though!
It's good, but he's low. We'll get the kick
And
kill
STE
for sure.
so low too.
And Swoi is looking for the kill, but Rich already cleaned up the entire backline. He is on fire, blinking in and out, and that's gonna be the kill for another one. Jungha just clearing this wave because they already lost the fight, trying to defend what he can, but this looks like the end of game 2.
It is. It's going to have to be a reverse sweep here for L5 tonight if they want to take another victory, because MVP Black is dominating. L5 needed a decisive team fight, but that was not it. Very patient usage of Sanctification from Tiz. Kyocha with a sound barrier, stacked a little bit, but got the extra shields needed to win the fight and win the game. And this is domination. When we saw Black play against Blossom, we were worried about their play. They lost a game against Cho'Gall. It was surprising. It was shocking. There were definitely holes in MVP Black's play. But this raises questions, perhaps, of Blossom's skill level. Maybe they were even stronger than we expected. You watch a game, a series this dominant, the control of the draft from MVP Black, and if you're an L5 fan right now, you are pretty worried. You're stressed out in your house, shaking in your boots a little bit.
Yeah, you have to be stressed after watching that game. It's the reason why Aegis came a little bit late, actually very late, barely saved Stitches, only for a few more seconds, and that's because Rich was already diving into the back line, doing tons of damage to Auriel, so Auriel had to be away from Stitches, so the Crystal Aegis came late, and by that time, their entire team was dispositioned because of Rich. He is diving in, and he doesn't even care. He thinks he can recall out of everything, take all the aggro out, and just disposition. By that time, he's trusting his team because they will win the team fight if he does all the aggro in the back line.
Yeah. Rich was the MVP last series as well, wasn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think they'll interview him if they end up winning the series, but he's definitely the MVP. Like, no one can argue against it. We've seen some really good clutch plays from Kyocha today. Few missed sound barriers, though. I have to be critical of that specifically, but otherwise we've seen some really clutch plays from him on the Twilight Dreams, the protection he brought in some of those fights. Tist as well, really good Sanctification usage, which is why, when we looked at the ban there, the big glaring one was likely to be the Tyrael, but they let it through. And I think they regret it now when you look back at how the draft happened. So there's still going to be a time here for L5 to gather their thoughts together. We're going to have a commercial break coming up, but so far, man, it's been a black night, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's right. But L5 made the reverse sweep happen against Tempest. Right now, Black seems crazy, crazy strong. And it seems like reverse sweep may be a little bit tough this time, but let's see if they can make it happen after the short commercial break, or it may be the end of the series with Black taking 3-0 off of today. We'll be back after a short commercial break.